Okay, so I have both of the Vevor, well, there's three full bridge Vevor amps. There's a 1500, I think that one's silly, but there's a 2000 and a 3000, and I've got the rare opportunity to crack the guts open. It's only 4 screws, so there's no reason not to, but I'm about to put the 3K into my car, and I figured it'd be worth it to take a look at the insides. Now, I don't know anything about the circuitry of an amplifier or what components, oh, that's a good component. It's, these transistors, oh, that's a 3387 transistor. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. But maybe somebody who does is wanting to know what the inside of them look like, and so I figured I could do that for you. It is interesting to note that these are priced nearly the same. I don't know. They didn't have the 3K in stock when I ordered the 2K. I actually paid less for the 3K than the 2K. There was that big craze, everybody trying to get their hands on these right when people started testing them. But it is interesting to note how many more components are in the 3000 when it only costs like $10 more than the 2000. They say CP 3000D, which is not the model. These are BP. But if you go to Vevor, the actual manufacturer of these amps, if you go to their website, they have another full bridge amp that looks exactly like this. I'm pretty sure it's the same amp, except it just has a different chassis. I may be mistaken, but it's called a CP 3000D. You can buy the Vevor amps off of Alibaba, but you're going to have to pay for shipping and all that stuff, and then you have to find a seller that's willing to make a minimum order of 1 unit. So if you're planning on drop shipping these, and that might work, if you're the Welsh audio bullshit. To his credit, he does put bigger speaker terminals. These have 2-gauge power terminals, not enough because this 2K actually bangs. He puts 1/0 gauge on the 2K, which is what it needs. This one has 1/0 gauge, which is literally the only reason, because I've got my you can't see it back there. I've got my A123 battery pack, and it's got one gauge, not 1/0. It's 1 gauge. Came out of a SRT8 Chrysler 300 and a Dodge Charger. But I was having to make these. I say make. This is the ground cable. So as you can see, it's a eye terminal that I just cut the actual eye off of, and then used that as like the and then soldered it with a torch. But you can see that's 1 gauge going down to 2 gauge. That's my, what do you call it? Where did the Tecum? They go into the ferrule. That's my wiring ferrule. It's my boo-boo wiring ferrule. It works good enough, but I'll be able to put actual 1/0 gauge into this guy. So let's see if I can get a close up of the capacitors. Somebody might want to know what the capacitor mean, what capacitor specs are. I don't know a thing about capacitors. I don't know what 2200 farads, what that means. They're 120 volt, which is, I feel like that's really optimistic for this amp. I don't think it'll ever be able to do 120 RMS. I need to mention, I did take the fans out of these. My subs are only 2 ohms, and this thing never gets hot. I also have it with access to the cab. I have access to the cab, and these are wired at 2 ohms, so I'm really not worried about it getting hot. So yeah, the fan connector is right there. If you are gonna run the fan in these, I highly recommend you get like a Knock 201 or something. The fan is so noisy, so if you have it in the cab, yeah, either get a Knock to a fan or take it out. I don't know if I'd recommend you take it out with if these are wired down to 1 ohm. They really don't get that hot, but I'm not gonna. Considering that I'm maybe doing 1600 watts, I can't remember how many volts I measured on the oscilloscope, but it's 1200 to 1600, so I'm really not worried about overheating. But the fan placement on this one looks a lot smarter. Looks like it goes right over the transistors. They're configured in they push air in, I believe, which I feel is really dumb. I would want it to push air out so that it can pull across everywhere. But yeah, if you get your little Noctua fan, maybe you can do that. So that's what those capacitors say. All of the coils are reinforced. They do not move whatsoever. Mad respect for that. I mean, they move the whole amp. The transformers, everything's really well glued into place. The ground, the RCA connectors, even though it's in one input, one output, it looks like it's just a Y. It looks like it's just a Y splitter, like a Y splitter RCA cable. So take that how you will. So this might be, again, if it's set to a pull, I feel like that'd be way more optimistic because you could pull across. Yeah, on mine, I took some brake clean to where it said Vevor because I think it's silly to have a home, whatever you call it, home goods car amplifier. So I just let it say BP. Yeah, so this is a fairly newish 3000 after they went out of stock for a long time and then they restocked. This is, I believe, one after they restocked. This I don't believe is on the old ones, but I don't know for certain. So yep, those are the Foshan Swower BP 2000 1.1D and 3000 BP 3000.1D. Let me know if you guys have any questions about them.